How's it going, guys? And welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Just gonna go on. We're going to the shower. The shock of the cold water nearly kills me. I managed to warm the water a bit and spend some quality time feeling my muscles loosen. My heart surprisingly feels at least bothered by the run. I suppose that's a good thing, even if it does make me feel a bit of a wuss. I mean, at least I'd have an excuse beyond I'm out of shape if my heart were bothering me. Guess I have to keep this running thing up, otherwise I'm sure Amy won't let me hear the end of it. It's only after I get out and dry myself off that I realize that I've only 10 minutes left to put my clothes on and get to class. Crap. The hands of the clock finally set me free from the tedium and yet another fun-filled class. Getting up from my seat proves to be more of a problem than I anticipated. My legs are killing me from the morning's run. Maybe doing these with Amy isn't such a hot idea after all. Still, the run's giving me a hell of an appetite. I'm halfway down the hallway to the cafeteria when I remember that I've got my lunch with me. My parents saw fit to provide me with some pre-packed stuff when I moved in. And a good thing too. The hallway is packed with students headed for the cafeteria. Going back is like swimming upstream. I've got an appointment to keep out on the rooftop. It takes me a moment to find the staircase leading up to the rooftop, but I'm willing to bet that Amy and Rin aren't up there by now anyway. In fact, I think I saw Amy among the body of the hallway we headed to the cafeteria for the cafeteria. I step out the door of the roof and take a deep breath. The fresh air blowing against my face and body almost makes my legs hurt less. Maybe if I'm upside down. Part of me wants to be surprised that Rin's already up here. What's that going to accomplish? Things in the clouds. Could you just look at them right side up? Rin rolls her eyes in something approaching exasperation. Then I wouldn't get a new perspective. Is upside down really a new perspective? Aha! That caught her off guard. Rin looks pensive. You may have a point. Maybe sideways. As Rin lays down on the bench and look at the sky, I give up. Fortunately, Amy chooses the moment to burst through the door carrying 2 bags. She nearly takes the door off the hinges. Sorry it took me so long. There are a ton of people in line. She drops the first bag in front of Rin and takes a seat on the bench next to her. You buy Rin's lunch for her? Sometimes, yeah. I'd have Rin buy my lunch for me in return, but I'm not sure how she'd carry it. Plus, I'd never buy her lunch. If Rin's offended by Amy's comment, she doesn't show it. Amy sniffs. How ungrateful of you. Yes, I had a drink ready. I'm not sure whether the two are joking with one another, or if I'm witnessing the beginning of a cat fight. The two girls stare at one another for a few tense moments before breaking into smiles. Hey Amy, do you think being upside down is a new perspective on things? Didn't I already have this conversation? Amy looks thoughtful, apparently giving the question some thought. After a deep and profound pause, she speaks. I have no idea. Well, at least she's as lost as I am. Hey Hisao, you're coming to the track meet, right? The question comes out of the blue and catches me off guard. I don't know yet? Honestly, Hisao, after I went through all that trouble of letting you run with me in the morning, you won't even show up at my track meet? Wasn't she the one that asked me to run with her? Actually, she didn't give me a choice in that matter. Wait, no, I didn't say that. She beams at me as I just agreed to give her $1 million. So you will come after all. That's great. I didn't say that either. I'll be going too, so I'll make sure he comes, Amy. Good idea, Rin. Maybe we can get some food or something after the meet's over. I feel like I've just been canned. But not by these two. Conned. Did I say canned? Did I say conned? Yeah, conned. Okay. Or maybe I should read books that feature conspiracy theories so heavily. Otherwise I might wind up sounding like Kenji. Still, I suppose that I've got to show up now. I don't think that I could stand against both of them being disappointed. I'd never hear the end of it. When is it again? Next week, silly. I just told you a few days ago. No, you didn't. I forgot? Well, you won't forget to come though, will you? Of course I won't. I'll make a note on the calendar or something. That's probably a good idea, you know, unless time changes its course. It can do that? Rin gives a non-committal shrug. It hasn't yet, but you never know. This time, it's Amy who gives a shrug. I suppose it can't be helped if it happens. Not unless you're a time traveler or something. You don't actually think that could happen, do you? I don't think we do. Do we? That seems to be her default response to everything. I suppose not, but I reserve the right to change my opinion at the moment's notice. For Rin, this statement makes a disturbing amount of sense. The fact that I realize this now frightens me a bit. I wonder if Amy gets this feeling all the time. If she does, she's not showing it, though Amy merely nods. As expected. What's that supposed to mean? This time, it's Amy who shrugs. It's like she's using Rin's own weapon against her. Your response is that sort of thing I'd expect from you, that's all. Am I really that predictable? Amy's smile seems to border on gloating. Nah, it's just that your unpredictably is pretty predictable. Unpredictability is pretty predictable. Well, that's alright then. I don't get the chance to see whether Rin is serious or not. As the bell rings, I didn't notice the lunch period slipping by at all. Hanging out with these two was far too interesting. Amy jumps up and looks a panic on her face. Oh no! I need to stop by my room to pick up my notebook for the next class. Don't you wish you had a time machine now? Rin seems rather smug as she delivered this line, like she's just won an argument. Amy ignores Rin's comment. Sorry, Hisaru, but could you make sure our garbage gets thrown away? I usually clean up myself, but I got to run. Sure, no problem. Amy darts away with an urgency I'm starting to expect from her. I don't bother asking Rin why she couldn't help. She already seems to be preoccupied with something else entirely as she wanders off. She's probably used to Amy's taking care of the cleanup, and for some reason I doubt Amy's ever raised their issue with her. Getting up from the lunch doesn't take long, so I have plenty of time to toss our garbage and get to class. Misha greets me with a wave and a devious grin as I walk through the door. Didn't see you in the cafeteria, Hit-chan. Yeah, I decided it was too crowded there. Misha's grin gets even wider. Oh, really? Are you sure you weren't participating in an illicit rendezvous? What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Misha? What are you talking about, Misha? You were on the roof, right? Both Rin and Amy, no less. You Casanova, you. We just had lunch, that's all. Misha burst into laughter, drawing the attention of several of my classmates. You're so adorable when you blush like that, Hichan. She gives me a conspiratorial wink. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. There's no secret. Oh, Misha seems disappointed, then brightens up again. Time will tell. I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but blessedly our teacher comes in and their class starts. Another day of class has finally dragged itself to a close. Unexpectedly, I managed to stay awake for the whole day. I'm pretty sure that counts as a miracle. My leg seems unwilling to stand up for a moment. I guess the run took a lot out of me. I head down the hallway to make my way to my room. I sit down and half-heartedly chip away at my homework for a while, feeling like a vulture picking a particularly unsavory carcass. It knows it knows this is what it eats, but it's not sure what it shouldn't be ordering takeout instead. I don't think I can take this, but it's important to get my work done. Now let's see. What was I supposed to be looking over again? I know it's a losing battle, but I will fight it anyway. Halfway through my math homework, I put my pencil down. This isn't working. I need a distraction. Unfortunately, my options for distractions are rather slim. I'm not in the mood to read right now. Kenji is, unusually, out of his room at the moment. If I go to the student council room, I'll just end up doing work for those two. And heaven only knows where everyone else is, except for, well, I suppose that's an option. I grab my shoes and head for the track. Emmy's probably down there. Track practice is just ending as I arrive at the track. The sun's beginning to dip low in the sky. Has it really gotten that late already? What are you doing down here, Isao? Come to spy on me, have you? I give a shrug, to be honest. I'm not sure why I'm down here. I didn't have anything better to do. I figure that's about right. At the moment, Emmy's the only person I can think of who I could visit. So I'm your last resort, am I? Nobody cool around, so I'll just go see Emmy. Is that what you thought? She actually looks angry. A chance for some teasing on my own presents itself. Oh! Actually, yeah, I guess you are. Emmy pouts, widening her eyes to give a maximum amount of puppy dog resemblance. Kidding! I was kidding! So you're down here to stalk me? Wait, what? That's not what I meant. Why would I stalk you anyway? It's not like you require stalking. If you're not asleep or in class, you're down here, right? Amy laughs at this comment. Well, you're not all wrong, I suppose. But you forgot about eating. I do that too, you know. I nod, conceding the point. Plus, I hang out with Rin sometimes too. So it really might take some effort to stalk. What do you two do together anyway? You don't seem to have a lot in common. She puts her hands on her hips, assuming a superior air. And assumes a superior air. That's what you think. I got all sorts of hidden hobbies, you know. Oh really? Like what? Amy puts her head on one side as she's trying to remember what she does in her free time. Well, Rin and I go out shopping sometimes. I guess that makes sense. Amy's a girl, right? After all. But Rin comes with you? We usually swing up by the art supply store. Plus she likes the music store that sells all kinds of weird sounding stuff. She says it helps her focus. That makes a little more sense. I see. Any other hidden hobbies? Amy wags her finger at me. Now. Why would I go and reveal all my dark secrets to you? We hardly know one another. Somehow I think that's all that Amy has in the way of hobbies. Still, I don't think my question has been answered. Even if you do have a few hobbies, I still don't see why you hang out with Rin so much. I mean, she's kind of weird, isn't she? The comment causes Amy to laugh loudly. Ha! That's the understatement of the year. What? So why? I mean, you're a lot better at conversation and stuff, so I figured you'd hang out with a lot of people, but I think I've only ever seen you with Rin. Amy seems unusually defensive. Hey, I hang out with plenty of people that aren't Rin. You just don't see me doing it because I'm not in your classes. Okay, but that still doesn't explain why you hang out with Rin. I'm not even sure why I want to know this. I guess it is because lunch is so strange. Was so strange. Amy shrugs, looking at the moment very Rin-ish. Looking for a moment very Rin-ish. It's because we have similar outlooks. If you were to ask me the least likely answer to my question, that would be it. What do you mean? It's like... Okay, Rin paints and stuff, right? Yes. I'm not sure where this is going. Well, I run, and that's why we're similar. Are you saying running is an art? You lost me. Amy frowns as she's trying to figure out her answer. Well, maybe it's all we do things. It's that we do things for the same reasons. Huh? You know, we follow our passions. So you're passionate about running and Rin's passionate about art. Is that it? Well, sort of. Let me think. Well, Rin explained it to me once, but I don't know how much of it I followed. Not surprising. I think any explanation from Rin would probably confuse anyone. She says we both chase after an extreme. Like she's always trying to find a new way to show a particular feeling or something. And I run because of the feeling I get from it. And since we don't allow ourselves to be slowed down by anything, we make a connection based on that. What do you mean, slowed down by anything? Amy looks surprised and points at her legs. You know, because I'm a runner, and Rin's a painter. Even without arms. So, we respect each other's determination. Okay, that actually makes sense. And that's why we hang out. I think. Well, I'm not sure that made any sense to me, but from Amy's sheepish expression, she's not sure about it either. Honestly, it's not something I think about much. We just get along. I think that's really all that matters. I suppose she's got a point there. Another question strikes me, and since I got nothing better to do, I'd ask it. So what got you so into running anyway? Oh, I've been running since I was very little. My dad was a runner, and so as soon as I could walk, he started teaching me how to run. It was our father-daughter thing, you know? Our own mutual hobby. A shadow crosses her face, and I'm shocked to see her looking sad. Did something happen between them? Man, I don't have a lot of time left. Sorry, but I got a few more laps in before I go to see the nurse. She races off around the track, hair streaming in the wind. It seems she's going a lot faster than she was this morning. And she rounds the track. I catch a glimpse of her face. It's much the same as it was this morning, but her eyes seem to have taken on a harder edge. I guess she's right. I don't really know much about her. I watch her run for a little while and then stand up to head back to my room. Hey! She spots me leaving and waits to catch my attention. Don't forget, same time tomorrow morning. Got it? Got it. I head back to my room. Homework begins. I can't sleep. My body's tired. But my mind is kept awake, staring at the ceiling on the hollow darkness of my room. I grasp desperately for a thread of thought, hoping that I can run my brain into the ground. All I can think of is how I can't think of anything. This is not productive at all. I wonder if this is the side effect of my medication, though it seems odd for it to take so long to show up. Then again, maybe I'm just not used to my new surroundings as I'd like to think. I don't know, but for whatever reason, I'm awake, and I shouldn't be. This is ridiculous. Ignoring my body's stiffness, I get out of bed and look at my clock. 4 in the morning. Last time I checked it was only 1, so maybe I slept a little. I don't know. I throw some clothes and head out of my room. A walk might do me good. I'm surprised at how chill the air is compared to the relative warmth of the day. I can almost see my breath as I wander the campus, waiting for the sun to come up, or for me to fall asleep. At this point, either option works for me. I find myself at the track where the first time Amy's not out running. I suppose that makes sense. It's too early even for her. The bleachers seats are cold. But at this point, I welcome the sensation. The sun is starting to show its face over the horizon, and I know it with an awful certainty that I'll get no more sleep tonight. The sun's steadily strengthening ray starts to warm me up, and I watch the dew on the ground begin to steam lightly. My mind calms down a little, and he falls asleep, and Emmy shows up. Hey, wake up! Huh? Where? What? It's Emmy. I guess I fell asleep after all. What are you doing out here? You're going to catch a cold or something. I rub my eyes as I'm confronted by Emmy, who bends over with me, a worried expression. I'm still a little groggy, so my response caught up in a mumble. Go to sleep. Watch the sun come up. Sounds like something Rin would say. I shrug, feeling the stiffness that comes with sleeping on the bench for a few hours. It is? Is it? I wouldn't know. Emmy grins a little at my somewhat cranky response. So, go to sleep, eh? Obviously, we need to run you harder today. Even though I've only known her for a week, this seems a very Emmy-ish response to the problem. Hey, my body was plenty exhausted after yesterday. My mind was just racing, that's all. I don't see the difference. If you run hard enough, your brain will get tired too. I'm seriously questioning the wisdom of doing the first thing in the morning. What? Did I read that right? Doing this first thing in the morning, I don't know if my Grace will be able to handle me trying my brain out like that. Amy pulls me from the bleachers with surprising strength for someone her size. Oh, come on, Hisao. We got work to do. I don't actually know if I'm up to this today, to be honest. I mean, I obviously didn't get much sleep. And what sleep I got was on the bleachers. I don't know. Should I really be running? Amy glares at me. Good heavens. What are you talking about? Of course you should be running. How else do you expect to work out the kinks? You've been sleeping on the bleachers for heaven's sake. The best way to get the soreness out is to run around a little. Now stop hiding in the bleachers and get down here. There's no arguing that. I'm pretty sure she'd kill me if I didn't do as she said. I get to my feet and hop down the track. The sun is warming things up rather nicely, I think. Amy and I begin to stretch out, and I find myself once again hard pressed not to stare. If this is how I wake up every day, I might be able to get used to this. You know, Hisao, it's not polite to stare. I wasn't staring, I swear. Amy raised an eyebrow and and considers me for a minute, as if evaluating my response. There's a brief moment where I'm afraid for my life. But then she smiles and laughs, shaking her head slowly. Honestly, you didn't have to deny it so strenuously. What? Where do you think I was staring? In response, I clap my hands together and go for a change of subject. So, that's enough stretching, right? Amy gives a casual shrug. Do you feel stretched? That's not really how you tell. Well, I do feel up to the run, if that's what she means. Yeah, I'm feel ready to go. Same as yesterday, okay? We'll just run for a mile at a steady pace. Don't worry about going really fast. Just worry about keeping the pace. Got it? You're the boss. And off they go. Emmy grins again as we take off the ground track. I think I'm going to die. We're not even done with the first lap and my legs are on the fire. My breath is coming in ragged gasps. I can feel sweat pouring down my brow and we're only just rounded the second turn. Come on, Isao. You got 3 more laps to go. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I think I might hurl. Somehow we're on the second lap. Amy's not even sweating. How can she do this so effortlessly? For some reason, I'm still moving. She's like a machine. 3rd lap. What happened to the 2nd? Almost there, Isao. Liar. We got another 2. Nothing to be done. I can't do this. Amy whirls around and begins running backwards. Her face is a mask of anger that surprises me. Never say that! If you say that, you'll have already lost. Keep moving! If you're alive, you can keep moving, damn it! Whoa, language! We're on the 4th lap now. She really seems to want me to keep going. Legs move, move, move. They feel so sluggish. I'm in mud, or molasses, or tar. I can't go on. I'll go on. Final stretch, Isao. Give it all you got. Pop my legs as fast as they'll go. They keep refusing to obey my commands. Somehow I keep moving. Somehow I finish. That's it, Isao. I knew you had it in you. The anger Amy showed a lap ago is gone, replaced with pride. She's positively radiant, like she's just won the gold medal or something. I stagger to a stop and fall to my hands and knees, gasping for air. My heart is pounding far harder than it has in a long time. I don't think it's done. I don't think it's done this time. Oh God. Please slow down, heart. Just slow down. Stop racing. For some reason, feel a grin crossing my face. Is this how I die? Huh? Trying to stay healthy? How ironic. I'm all ready to give up. I'm all ready to give up right here. Right there. But then I feel my heart slow down. 2 hands grab under my arms and tug upwards. I look up and see Emmy standing over me with a mixture of delight and worry. On your feet! Come on, you'll never catch your breath that way. Somehow I manage to stand. I try to raise my arms above my head, but they feel like lead. I start to walk around the track while Emmy keeps close to me, like she's afraid I'll fall over or something. She may not be far off. I feel terrible, and say so. Amy laughs. But you finished, didn't you? You said you couldn't, but you did. Isn't that worth it? I'm not sure. I don't really have the breath to say so. But that small grin I felt on my face earlier hasn't left. So what if my heart's weak? I still survived this morning. Maybe I'll survive tomorrow too. That's the spirit! As soon as it becomes apparent that I'm not going to keel over, Amy takes off her sprints. I don't know how the hell she managed to sprint after running a mile, but I guess she's in a much better shape than me. Once again, as I walk around the track, I can't help watching Amy sprint. It's weird, but she's like a different person when she's pushing herself. Last time I noticed her eyes, but this time it's her mouth that catches my attention. Show image. Return. She's not wearing her normal grin. She's still smiling, but there's a tightness to it. It's almost grim, like she's fighting a losing battle but doesn't care. She seems to be running harder, like she did yesterday. Sweat has started to pour down her face, but she keeps going. Her mouth finally opens as she can no longer get enough air through her nose. As she passes me once more, legs pumping, arms swinging in time, and her lips slightly parted. She looks beautiful. After we both taken some laps around the track to cool down, Amy changes back to her usual self. The transformation I saw in her is gone. Not bad today, Hisao. There's almost admiration in her voice. What do you mean? I would have stopped if you hadn't yelled at me. Amy colors a little, seemingly embarrassed about her outburst. Sorry about that. I just can't stand to see people give up, especially about something like this. Saying I can't go on is silly when you're obviously going on while you're saying it. Does this have something to do with her father? I mean, I can fake picture what might have happened between her and her father. I'm just gonna keep that to myself for a while. That's what this is all about. What? Saying silly things? Amy sticks her tongue out at me. Idiot! I mean, showing that you're alive. Showing I'm alive, huh? I didn't know it had to be so painful, but it does feel pretty good despite that. Besides, this is one of the hardest days. What do you mean? Whenever you start a workout, it's difficult the first day, really hard the second day, and then the third day is easier. You will still get days that are really hard, but they'll pop up less and less. So this is eventually get really easy, huh? Yeah, of course. But then you have to increase the difficulty, or you'll never get ahead. You'll just get complacent, and you'll lose the sense of accomplishment. So I have to run more than just 4 laps, huh? Yep, but not for a while. You'll have to be careful, you know. A thought strikes Amy, and her face lights up. Got it. Got what? You can come with me to see the nurse. That way you won't fall over dead or anything. How charming. When? Right now, of course. You'll need a shower and everything, right? We don't have much time then. Grabbing my hand, she's off, pulling me along with her. My goodness. But you're not in a hurry today, aren't you, Amy? I have no idea how we got to the nurse's office so fast, but here we are. The nurse grins at Amy and seems to completely ignore me. You've got plenty of time to take a shower and get to class, you know. There's no need to run through the hallways like that. I could hear you coming a mile away. Somehow it doesn't seem like he's actually scolding Amy at all. It's like there's some sort of routine between the two of them. Amy does a passable imitation of remorse. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. The nurse and Amy both laugh at some private jokes. Suddenly it seems that he notices me. Oh, hello, Hisao. What brings you here? Well, Hisao is officially joining me on my morning runs. I start to explain, but Amy cuts me off. I thought he might need to visit you so he doesn't die or anything. The nurse raises his eyebrow in mock horror. Yes, that would certainly put me out of a job fast, wouldn't it? Well then, Hisao, let's have a look at you. Lift your shirt, would you? I suddenly become very conscious of the fact that Amy's in the room with me and blush in spite of myself. The nurse seems to sense my discomfort, but it only seems to amuse him. A bit shy, are we? He makes an apologetic bow to Amy. Sorry, Amy, I tried to get you a free show, but it doesn't seem to have worked. Amy stiffens slightly and fires a look of annoyance at him. You're an asshole! Amy bows to me apologetically. I'll wait outside, okay, Hisao? I begin to stammer, but that's not really a big deal. She doesn't have to leave, but she's already out the door and the nurse is laughing as she watches her go. Still got it. Ha! I don't follow. He laughs again, like he's in some joke that's over my head. I can still get her flustered. It's a competition of sorts we've had going on for a while now. That sounds incredibly sinister to me, and it seems to as if the nurse realizes that too. That sounded a lot worse than it actually is, come to think of it. I wasn't going to say anything. No, you're right. I should fill you in so you don't get the wrong idea. I'm actually relatively new here, you see. I got hired on the same year Amy started going here. Before that, I worked with Amy during her initial rehab following her accident. Hold on, what? We had to amputate her legs after a really nasty car wreck. It nearly killed her, and we succeeded. and succeeded. He shuts up abruptly. I blink at receiving this unexpected piece of news. Well, that's not my place to say. Anyway, we've known each other for quite a while. Do I read that right? Sometimes I just read out what I think is correct. So we have slightly more familiar relationship than is strictly professional. He seems embarrassed, like he's done something stupid. I guess he's really worried about that. Maybe I have a hand to let him know that it's not a big deal. Don't worry, sir, I promise I'm going to be discreet. I had been wondering about what caused Amy to lose her legs, and that was one of the scenarios I thought of. There was only so many ways that could have happened, but actually hearing about the facts, it's still a little shocking. Well, thanks. You're a good kid, Isao. I can see why Amy became friends with you. She's quite indomitable. Indomitable. What? Am I pronouncing that right? What do you mean? You didn't see her learning to walk. She'd go for much longer than the others in the hospital. She refused to quit. Normally it takes years to get to the point where you can even think about running again. Amy did it all in about a year. He almost sounds proud of her, like a father who watches his daughter win a competition or something. Hell, she'd probably have done it faster if not the fact we wouldn't let her. Wouldn't let her? Why not? Because she'd go for so long that her legs would stop bleeding where they met her prosthetics. It's a real concern. It's why she comes here every day after she runs. To say nothing to the risk of infection to her legs get cut up, and her prosthetics are dirty. But enough about that. If we don't get you on your way soon, maybe we think we're up to something. As he says this, he gives me a wink and begins checking my heart rate. The stethoscope is way too cold. He really should have heated it up or something before he used it. After a few moments, he leans back, satisfied. Well, you sound pretty good to me, Hisao. You didn't have any chest pains while you were running, did you? No, not really. I had some trouble catching my breath, though. And my heart was racing by the end, too. The nurse frowns as I say this, but then shrugs. It's probably just because you're out of shape. But if you don't improve, then you should let me know, okay? Don't push yourself too much. And of course, if you had any chest pains, come to me immediately, alright? I'll put my shirt back on and the nurse leads back out of the doorway to call Amy. What took you so long? Now I'm going to be late. The nurse gives me a significant look. I was just seducing Hisao, that's all. What? Come on. What have I told you about seducing my friends? I expected Amy to be shocked by this, but instead she seems really annoyed, scolding the nurse as he was a child stealing cookies. Meanwhile, I try not to blush at the nurse's innuendo. I'll try not to do it again, though I fear young Hisao may be lost to the female gender forever. Not freaking likely. I didn't mean to say that out loud, but both the nurse and Amy regard me for a moment before bursting into laughter again. Told you he was funny, didn't I? Huh? I guess Amy does talk to the nurse about a lot of stuff. Well, Hisao, you should probably get moving. You still need a shower before class starts, don't you? Crap! He's got a point. And looks like I only got half an hour. Thanks for your time. I'll see you later, Amy. I dash out of the room to begin. Amy, you got to be more careful. I make it back to my room and a shower in record time and of course blah 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 blah. We gotta save here. Save. Morning run. Save the game. Good. Continue. I'm gonna leave you guys with a high five. You ready for this? You're not serious yourself. Oh, where are the bullets coming from? Doesn't matter, I'll just stay here. Oh. Oh, it's really confusing your eyes here, man.